Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So today I'm going to discuss my TCS interview experience with you. So I had a 1.5 years of experience at that time and the role is system engineer, DevOps and cloud. And I cracked that interview and TCS offered me 6.10 LPA package. If you are new to this channel, then I would request you to subscribe this channel as well as you can join our Telegram channel to get latest IT job updates as well as DevOps and cloud training materials. Okay, so there were two rounds. One is technical and one is HR. So this technical round was a virtual round on a Microsoft Teams and one is a HR round. So that HR round was like a telephonic round, only 15 minutes. And this technical round was about 45 minutes to 1 hour. So let's discuss the technical interview questions. So let me show you. See, first question was about tell me about your past experience and projects. Basically, he want to understand my past experience as well as past projects and my education background and my introduction. Okay. So I explained him my past experience, my introduction, my education, family background, then the technical tools and projects. Then he asked me to explain the CICD project that he have done. So I have already created a video on this. Okay, you can check that video. I'll put link in the description. I explained the complete CICD project in that video. Okay, then the next question was on Git. Okay, so he asked me like command to create Git branch. So there are two commands basically. First one is a Git branch itself. Okay, so that is the command git branch first, and second command is git checkout -b and the branch name. Then the next question was on difference between git pull and git fetch commands. Okay, so these are the two commands in the git pull and the git fetch. So basically by using git pull command, we can fetch the latest changes from the remote repository and then it will automatically merges those changes into your current local branch. Okay, so basically git pull command is the combination of git fetch and the git merge, while git fetch command just retrieves the latest changes from the remote repository and updates your local remote tracking branches. Okay, it will not automatically merge into your current local branch. You can read out the difference between these two commands. Okay, then the next question was on git stash command. Do you know the git stash command? And explain me the git stash command. Basically it is the git command. So by using git stash command, it will allow us to keep uncommitted modifications so that we can use them as needed in the future. Okay, so basically this command is temporarily save your uncommitted changes. Okay, then the next question was on difference between git reset and the git revert command. So basically these both commands used to undo the changes. Okay, git reset and git revert. You can consider reset command is for before the commit and the revert command is for after the commit. Okay, then the next question was on master slave concept in Jenkins. So there is master slave concept in Jenkins, like one is master and there are multiple slaves you can attach to that master to run the jobs for the parallel execution of jobs. So these slaves are helper to the master to run parallel execution of jobs. Okay. Then the next question was on what is webhook. So there is a webhook concept in Jenkins. So webhooks are HTTP callbacks triggered by specific events in the CICD. Okay, they serve as a seamless connection between your version control, that is GitHub, okay, and your Jenkins, and it will allow automatically triggering of builds whenever code changes are pushed. Okay, then the next question was on what are the different ways to trigger jobs in the Jenkins. So there are multiple ways to trigger jobs in the Jenkins. Like there are different ways. First one is a manual. There is option build now. So using that you can trigger the job. Then the second one is a trigger build remotely. Okay. Then the third one is a build after other projects are built. Then the fourth one is a build periodically. Fifth one is a poll SCM. And the sixth one is a GitHub hook trigger for Git SCM polling. So these are the different ways to trigger jobs in the Jenkins. Then the next question was on what is Ansible. So I have explained like what is the Ansible and what is the use of Ansible. So Ansible is basically configuration management tool. So using Ansible, we can do the automation. Then the next question was on what is the location of Ansible inventory path. So basically there is one directory called etc. Under etc there is one directory Ansible, and under Ansible there is a host file. Okay, etc Ansible host. So this is the inventory path. Then the next question was on what is the handlers in the Ansible. So there is one concept handlers. So basically handlers are, it is the exactly same as the Ansible task, but it will run when it is called by another task. Okay, and it will only run when task contains the notify. So you can read the definition of handler as well. Then the next question was on Docker. So what is the Docker file? and the command to create images from Dockerfile. So I already created the video. You can check that video. Okay. Then the next question was on how to check stopped Docker containers. So for this question as well, I have already created video. You can check that video. Then the what is the location of Docker volume path? So basically there is one location, Docker volume path location. Under the var directory, there is a lib directory. Inside that there is a Docker directory, and inside that there is a volume directory. So this is the location of Docker volume path. Then the difference between docker exec and the docker attach command. So basically both commands are used to take login inside Docker container, but there is one difference like docker exec and the docker attach command. So basically docker exec command creates the new process ID. Okay, while the docker attach command just connect the standard input output. You can check the difference between these two commands on Google as well. So both commands are used to take login inside the container. Then the 17th question is what is the command to stop all running containers? So basically there is one command. Suppose you want to stop all your running containers. Then there is one command inside Docker. By using that command, you can stop all running containers. The command is like docker stop, then the dollar, and then the inside the bracket docker ps -a -q, and you can close that bracket. So let me type the command here. So I don't know it will allow me to type here or not. Let me try docker. So command is docker, then the stop, 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 then the dollar. So this is the dollar symbol. Okay, dollar, then the bracket, then the again docker, then the ps, then the -a and the -q. Okay, so space is there. Okay, docker stop, then the space dollar bracket, then the docker space ps space -a space -q. So by using this command we can stop all docker running containers. Then the next question was on do you know the Kubernetes and explain me the Kubernetes architecture. So I explained him the Kubernetes architecture, like what is the control plane, master plane, and the worker node. Okay, so on the master, there are multiple Kubernetes components like controller manager, then the etcd database, then the API server, and the kube scheduler is on a control plane. And the on the worker, there are like kube proxy, kubelet, then the container and pod. So these all components are running on worker node. So this basic architecture I explain him. You can check the architecture diagram on Google as well. Okay. Then the next question was on AWS. Okay. So what is AWS public, private, and the hybrid cloud? So basically he wants to understand the difference between public, private, and hybrid cloud. If suppose we have set up our data center inside AWS cloud, okay, so that is meant by public cloud. Then what is private cloud? If suppose we have set up our data center in our own on premises or in our own building, so that is private cloud. And the hybrid cloud, so this is the mixture of public and private. So some servers we have set up in our public AWS cloud, and some servers we have set up in our private means on premise or your own building, so that is meant by hybrid cloud. Then the next question was on steps to create AWS EC2 instance. If you don't know how to create EC2 instance in the AWS, then you can watch my videos. Then the next one is the difference between AWS region and the AWS availability zone. So there is a difference between AWS region and the AWS AZ, availability zone. So inside region there is a AZ, means availability zone. Inside AZ there is a data centers. So there is suppose one region. Inside one region there are multiple availability zones. So these are the geographical locations. You can check the difference between region and the AZ. Then the next question was on the what is S3. Okay, so S3 is basically storage service in AWS. S3 means simple storage service. So basically by using S3 we can store our content inside S3 bucket. We can create the bucket, and inside that bucket we can upload our content. Then there are the multiple use cases of S3, like we can mount our S3 bucket on our Linux or Windows server. You can check that video as well. I already created video on that topics. Okay, then there is the S3 versioning, then the S3 classes, then the transfer acceleration, then the lifecycle rule, and the storage classes inside S3. So there are different storage classes like S3 standard, then the S3 standard IA, one zone IA, glacier, deep glacier. So there are multiple storage classes are available inside the S3. Okay, you can check my videos on S3. Then the next one is what is private, public, and the elastic IP address. So basically you just want to understand the difference between these IP address. Okay, private, public, and the elastic IP address in the AWS. So by using elastic IP address, our public IP will not change. Okay, suppose if we stop the EC2 instance and again we start the EC2 instance, then our public IP will get changed. So if you don't want to change the public IP address, so in that case we have to use elastic IP address. So by using elastic IP address, our public IP will not get changed, and the private IP is on our Ethernet. Okay, so Ethernet card. So by default we will get one Ethernet card. By default we will get one private IP. Okay, and the public IP is in our IGW, internet gateway. So private IP is essential and public IP is optional. Okay, so this is also one interview question. Private IP is the essential. Okay, by default we will get one private IP, but public IP is the optional. So you can read the difference between private, public and elastic IP address. Then the next question, so this is the last question, like do you have any questions for me? I would suggest ask one or two questions. Don't hesitate and don't say no. Okay. If you don't know the questions, then you can just simply ask that interviewer guy experience and the projects, then the technical skills and all these things to that interviewer guy. Okay. Then you can ask the TCS projects. Okay. So he can explain all these things. So basically you have to ask one or two questions to that interviewer. Okay. Then this is the technical round. Then the next round was on HR round. Okay, so basically after clearing the technical round, they will schedule your HR round on the same day or within a week. Okay, so in my case, they have scheduled my HR round within a week. After 1 week, I got call from the TCS HR. So basically that round was a telephonic round. So in the HR round, they just asked me the salary expectations. They had scheduled that round for 15 minutes, but they had wind up that call within 5 minutes only. Okay, so they just want to understand your salary expectations. So I asked her the 7 LPA for that role, but she gave me only 6.10 LPA. Like she told me, we can give you maximum 6.10 for 1.5 years of experience. That is our budget. Okay, we can't go beyond that budget. So this is the maximum we can offer you. So that is the only discussion in the HR round. Okay, only salary discussion. So they have not asked me any questions in the HR round. So hope you got an idea of TCS Systems Engineer, DevOps and Cloud role interview questions. I hope this video will definitely help you in your upcoming TCS interviews or any other company interviews. So if you have any doubts, then you can ask me in the comment section. Bye bye.